All right, guys, it is Sunday, and we're going to talk about the markets right now. So let's hop into here. Everything I want to talk to you guys about is the weekly chart, and then what the anticipation and what I am predicting for this whole week. Even though the dollar is still on this bullish uptrend, what I'm looking for is the dollar to see if it'll come back and break 96 for this week. If not, then if it doesn't come back past or close above 96, somewhere either, I'm talking about the daily candles. Well, and so by Wednesday, we have the FOMC. So for today, well, I can't count today, but for Monday and Tuesday, wherever the dollar is going to push, if it's going to push up for the next 2 days, then I'm looking to keep going further with this uptrend. If not, then looking for it to bounce back down and probably come test 94. So these two key resistance and support levels, these prices are really important based on price action. Because once it breaks 94, then it breaks this, and then we'll come test this. Once it breaks above 96, then basically this, I don't count this as resistance, but once it breaks this, then I'm looking for it to come back to 97. So those are the two prices to pay attention to for the US dollar index for this week. Gold, man, gold has been on a major run. You can see that it's broken out of these past. Yeah, I got people talking to me. Okay, so it's broken past out a lot of resistance and a lot of this consolidated structure here. So what would cause it? I mean, a lot of people would say they would keep buying it for the long term. Just because it went up that much doesn't mean it's going to keep going. So you got to be very careful. We still have trade wars in effect. We still have other political tensions. So when gold is a safe haven, gold will be a safe haven. That doesn't mean that gold's going to be a long-term buy. You have to be very careful where gold's going to go for this week. Because gold just did a massive spike on I think it was Thursday. So you have to be very careful where gold's going to go. Gold could very well just drop right back to 1200. You have to be very precise with gold, because it's not enough to say you're gonna keep buying it long term. It's not enough to say you're gonna sell it long term. Ultimately, based on what I see on the monthly, since this monthly candle hasn't closed yet, if it does close as a really as a big bullish engulfing candle to the previous candle, then be looking forward to target 1300 again. So just something to pay attention to. New Zealand coming back up right here. Did break the 65 cents, but it's still hovering around this initial target here. So we'll see where it goes from here. But overall, it's still on a downtrend long term. Same thing with Australia, going back up to 71 cents. The next target, like I said, if we do sell the dollar, then the next target would be 72 cents. Same thing with New Zealand. If we do sell the dollar, then that would target 66 cents. Euro. Oh, I don't know what I had here. Let me take this off. This candle did not engulf this candle. And based on the weekly, you can see there was a lot of resistance right here. It hasn't decided to come back. So it could very well come back and target low again at 113.5, and then this wick 113. You have to remember that Europe is facing political issues with Italy. also with the UK trying to leave. So the European Union is facing a lot of uncertainty over there. So this is based on fundamentals, not on technical analysis. Let me see where the pound's headed. The pound is a little bit stronger than the euro, but you can see there's a lot of, almost every other candle, doji, this pin, look at this bearish pin all the way back down. And then now it's closing as another, pretty much to me, it's just another doji candle. And it's not signifying to, it's signifying to me, based on candlestick structure, that it's running out of steam. It's running out on this uptrend. And it could very well go back and test low again. Back at 128 or at this very low price down right by 127. So it's a different structure looking at Australia and New Zealand versus the euro and the pound. Australia and New Zealand, they dropped a lot in value already. So they're going to retrace back up, which was the expectation for last week. But that doesn't mean it's going to be the same expectation for this week. We have about 24, 25 high impact news for this week. So it'll be more on scalping than swinging. UJ, a lot of people say they want to keep selling it down. You can. For me, I'm not going to sell it for the long term, because USDJPY does its major retracements going down, especially when it's overbought like this. So what I'd be looking for is the key price to break would be 111. Breaks that, then I'm going to go all the way back down and see if it's going to come test 105 long term. Because this is a very important price structure to pay attention to. A lot of people see a sell right here, and then all of a sudden it just bounces right back up, causing a confusion. So this 111 price needs to be break, and it needs to close below 111 to be even considered a strong sell. And the most important thing is that since we have a very volatile week for this week, USDJPY could very well just consolidate this week, going up and down from this 112 price back to 113, back to 112, based on a lot of political events and on economic events for the US and for Japan. So you gotta be very careful where USDJPY might end up going for this week. It could very well end up being one of these previous weekly candles, like these ones, just sitting here, closing out like this. So you gotta be very careful where the structure candle is gonna close out for the next couple of weeks and by end of October here. USD Swiss franc, major bull candle, another one, and then closed out right here. Not enough to close above this structure and not enough to test $1. So is it still in a major uptrend? I still see a major uptrend because it's been sitting here for quite some time. If we were to go back on this weekly chart, it's been sitting here. And it's been sitting here. And this was based on news back in 2015, but still, it's just been sitting here. Now, if we were to go back on USD Swiss franc on the monthly, it's been down here since 2012, when we're coming into the end of 2018. This major downtrend started back in 2002. So if this is going to create a lot of support, guess what? It's going to be an up. And so basically, I would expect for it to come back to 150, 160, and maybe come target 180 long term. So that's the difference when you look at USD Swiss franc compared to USD CAD and USD JPY. USD CAD, man, this guy has just been on a major battle with Canada, but you can see these candles engulfed over the previous candles. Now what I'm looking for is to test 131, when then come break 132, once it breaks this structure, then we could see a possible uptrend back to 137. And this price was last year before it fell back. It hasn't decided to break, hasn't decided to break even further below. It's not going to test, if it's not going to test to break 128 and 127, then it's going to come back and test 131, 132. So these next 2 days are going to dictate where I'm going to plan to sell and reverse my trades. The reason being is because we have on Wednesday. Okay, let me highlight all the high impact news. Because on Wednesday, what is going on here? Sorry about that. So on Wednesday, we have the FOMC minutes. This would be a huge one for the US. And guess what we have? The EU Brexit summit. That's another huge impact going on. So we have two major events. The FOMC minutes for New York sessions at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, Central Time. And then at 7 p.m. Central Time, you have the European Union Brexit Summit. This is a very important event. Also, you have, I missed all this one, sorry. You also have the EU Brexit Summit that starts on Tuesday night. So this is a 2-day event with the European Union and the UK. This is going to be a very, very volatile week. Don't expect to be swinging for the whole week. And those of you on the signals, do not do a weekly swing. I mean, we had some good weekly swings in the past couple of weeks, but not for this week. This week's going to be more focused on scalping, short-term trading for each session, and you're going to have to diversify which pairs you want to trade on. Because if you focus on euro and pound, you might get wiped out because of what's coming up for Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, you have to be very careful and on your entries and on your exits. So that's something to pay attention to even when I'm not there. That way you guys don't get confused. So Wednesday is the big day. Notice that Wednesday has the most high impact news. So can we expect a reversal on that day? Yes, we can. Wednesdays, whatever day has the most high impact news, most of the time causes a reversal on trends. You have to be well prepared for that. I talk about this every single week. I talk about this on every single webinar. I talk about this I even chat with you guys on Telegram chat group about this. There's nothing new. It's the same pattern, same structure. You have to be diverse and in your mindset and be adaptable to the markets on this day. This week will probably be a little bit more crazier than last week. So it might be just crazier once the market opens. You never know. And so I'm not looking into swinging for this whole week. I'll be looking for short-term intraday swings, or like just if I was gonna, like I said, if I plan on swinging, probably might be less than a day, maybe just 8 to 12 hours of holding on positions, or just holding on positions for maybe just for 4 to 5 hours in the session. But it will be more focused on scalping, so that you guys don't get confused on trying to figure out how long we're gonna hold these trades for. But other than that, that is all I got for you. Like I said, whatever happens the first 2 days will dictate where I go for the US dollar for the FOMC, and then all the way to the end of Friday. So that is a heads up. Do not miss, don't ask me the same question, because I'm trying to give you guys all the answers right now. And then if I were to change something up, then we're going to change up. We're going to change up and switch our positions. So this is a very informative webinar, very informative video for the week here. And like I said, I'm trying to highlight as much as I can so you guys don't get confused here. So other than that, be prepared. And when I see something going on for Tokyo, be prepared. And then we'll have to be prepared for the upcoming New York sessions for this whole week. So other than that, that is all I got for you guys for Sunday.